This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the best online retailer for Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 source for Magic the Gathering news and content.
Hey guys, Marshall here from Limited Resources, and we're doing a little M15 draft. It's early in the morning where I come from, but I've got a full coverage weekend ahead of me, so I figured I better get up early and make sure we can get one of these drafts done. We've opened some interesting cards here in this pack. Resolute Archangel's pretty good. Resets your life total, costs 7 mana, a little prohibitive. Into the Void, really powerful in an aggressive deck. Speaking of that, Juggernaut, also very powerful in an aggressive deck. I'm taking Juggernaut here. I like staying open, and I'm not such a huge fan of Resolute Archangel that I feel like I'm compelled to pick it. I think it's good, but I don't think it's great. And I actually do think the Juggernaut's great, so I'm going to take it. All right, what have we? Well, we've got a bunch of kind of similar cards. Warden of the Beyond, Krenko's Enforcer, Netcaster Spider, all very good 3-drops in their respective colors. Witch's Familiar is fine in the same category. Got a couple of decent 4-drops here with Paragon and Shaman of Spring. Oresco Swiftclaw, playable. I feel like I can just sort of take the one that I want here. And if I've taken a Juggernaut, I'd rather be aggressive. So I think I'm going to take Krenko's Enforcer. There's a lot of decent white cards in this pack, but nothing that really pulls you that strongly. And maybe we'll even wheel that Paragon, though wouldn't really count on it. Okay, some decent options out of this pack too, but nothing great. A Rummaging Goblin or a Torch Fiend, plus there's also just Divination and Living Totem I like a lot. Not really looking to pair black with red. I don't think that's one of the stronger color pairs. It seems like it would be, but it just doesn't win. Torch Fiend is probably the most obvious pick. Just the simplest sort of, draft a 2-drop, whatever. I don't know. I mean, Divination and Living Totem are both more powerful than Torch Fiend. We're not really giving up a ton, but I'll stick with red for now. Wow. Mass Calcify, Razorfoot Griffin. So white actually seems fairly open coming from the other side there. We might just want to move in on a Mass Calcify. It's really good. The thing is, I've also got a really nice pick here with Forge Devil. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Forge Devil here. I like Mass Calcify quite a bit, but it's another 7-mana spell. And I'm just not really addicted to those. I think they're good, but I think a good aggressive deck can kill you before those are really relevant, or at least leave you with enough options afterwards. Blast Firebolt, Rummaging Goblin, maybe an Amphin Pathmage. I like that guy. Blast Firebolt is so clunky. It does the trick, but man, it's a clunker. 6 mana. Rummaging Goblin, just not really that aggressive. I'm going to take the Pathmage here. All right, well, there's enough good red cards here. I mean, I like Cruel Sadist a lot, to be honest, but with Generator Servant, Roughrider floating around in the pack, I think that we can just concentrate on those. So I'm going to go for the Generator Servant here. Military Intelligence. Yeah, let's get smart. We've already got one blue card. I kind of like it anyway. All right, so here's a nice Jorubai Merclurker, but I think we're just going to have to take Will-Forged Golem here. It just gives us some extra punch. It'll pretty much for sure make the cut, and we don't know if we're going to be able to activate the Merclurker. And there's not much here. I will take a Glacial Crasher. Oh, that's nice. Good old-fashioned mana fixing, just straight up. All right, so we get Divination and Research Assistant back. I like that. Probably going to lean on the Research Assistant. Normally, I would take Divination. I think it's more powerful. But since we've already got a Military Intelligence, Research Assistant and just 2-drops in general all of a sudden go up a lot. Rogue's Gloves, yeah, whatever. So we're trying to build a pretty streamlined deck here. Oh, nice. Rummaging Goblin, I'll take it. And Stutter, I don't think we really want. Okay, so this is a decent start. I mean, obviously our power level isn't off the charts. Our best card is Juggernaut, and it's a really good one. But, we don't exactly have Cone of Flames and, I was just going to say Triplicate Spirits, but there it is. Triplicate Spirits. Obviously, we're not really in the market for Triplicate Spirits, but power level wise, we just don't have that kind of thing going on. I wish we were in the market for Triplicate Spirits because I would play them. There's no doubt about that. But we're not. So let's consider what our real options are, which are Broodkeeper, Pathmage, probably not Blast Firebolt. So Broodkeeper or Amphin Pathmage are the two choices that we have. I think they're both pretty decent. I think I'm just going to take the Pathmage because it's more aggressive and we don't have any way to enable Broodkeeper yet, and I don't really want to have to like dive into those. Sucks passing Triplicate Spirit Stab Wound, but so it goes. And this pack really stinks for us. We can take an Obelisk of Erd and maybe make goblins or devils, or what is this, elemental? Ugh. I think we probably just want a Bronze Sable. This is not what we want to be picking out of this pack. And, of course, the white is just flowing here. Another Triplicate Spirits and a Devouring Light. Like, you just don't see that very often anymore. And, I mean, I guess we can make a move over, but, like, we're giving up a lot of picks to do it. We could have had 2 Triplicate Spirits instead of, I guess, our red, which is mediocre. Yeah, we're going to take a Borderland Marauder here, so into the deep we go. I'll take another Juggernaut. I love seeing that, but here's a Raise the Alarm for the white deck. It's just all there. All right, Frost Lynx is an easy pickup here. It works great with everything we're trying to do. So even though I'm kind of bemoaning the fact that we're not in white when a lot of really good white cards are flowing, well, this pack has none of them. And on top of it, our deck is actually shaping up pretty nicely. Like, Juggernaut into Frost Lynx is pretty ideal, especially for, you know, the next few picks that we've gotten there. Aeronaut Tinkerer or Nimbus of the Isles is a really interesting choice. I think we want the Nimbus, actually. Normally, I think we'd probably just want the Tinkerer because we want a lower curve with military intelligence and such, but this thing works really well. It's just it's sort of what you get for being in blue and in an aggressive deck. I'll take an Encrust here. Not that I'm in love, but I'll take it. And a Bronze Sable, or maybe a Wall of Frost. Let's take a Wall of Frost. It doesn't really fit what we're trying to do too well. Wow, those are pretty decent. Negate, yes. Amphin Pathmage number 3. I'll take it. I don't know that we're going to run all of those, but all right. And okay, so that pack was a little frustrating just in the sense that, and you know, you don't want to get caught up in that, right? In the whole like, well, I could have had blah blah blah. I see that in the comments sometimes for my videos, and I mean, you'll very rarely hear me mention that. The deck you could have had is almost irrelevant unless you just missed some huge signal and, you know, ignored things or just didn't keep yourself open and just, you know, we're like, no, we're these colors, we're forcing it from the beginning or whatever. If that was the case, then yes, the deck you could have had is a factor. But for the most part, that's not usually true. And usually you make decisions based on what you have in front of you at the time. And the fact that other colors happen to be open later, you know, that doesn't really factor into the decisions you make in the moment. So it's not really productive to harp on those too much. But I mean, we're all human. I'm going to notice it, you know, when I pass Triplicate Spirits and stuff. It's like, ugh. Because you know how good that card is. All right, what do we got? Well, we opened a rare, an on-color rare, which could actually be decent. Not great, though, but cloning a Juggernaut or a Nimbus is pretty decent. We could also take a Coral Barrier, which is kind of a lot better than a Wall of Frost in our deck because it gives us a token that we can attack with for military intelligence or just get through with against Island Walk. But I think Pretender's probably better enough. I'm not in love with Mercurial Pretender, but it's fine. Kurd Chieftain. Do we have access to a forest? Not really. I mean, we could pick up an Evolving Wilds or something. We're giving up our 4th Amphin Pathmage. We definitely don't need that many of those. One will do. The other option we have is to take a Void Snare just to get stuff out of the way. But I think we can pick up one of those a little later. So we'll pick up the Chieftain here. All right. Inferno Fist or Peel from Reality. I'm on Inferno Fist. I like Inferno Fist. Not too much here. Shrapnel Blast is actually possible with Bronze Sable, Double Juggernaut, and Will-Forged Golem. Maybe we'll even pick up one more Bronze Sable. We could do it, though that really high-risk strategy I'm not such a huge fan of. Though we do seem to be quite aggressive. Yeah, I'll pick one up. I don't think we're going to start it, but I do want the option. So here's a Void Snare or a Torch Fiend. I feel like we've already got one Torch Fiend. So 1, 2, 3. We've got 5 2-drops and a 1. That seems fine. I'm going to take the Void Snare here. Another Nimbus or a Thundering Giant. I think another Nimbus is the name of the game there. And here's a Goblin Roughrider or a Research Assistant. I think I still just want the Roughrider. I want to be able to beat down. Like, this is the type of card that really thrives when you're, like, Frost Lynxing. You go Roughrider, Frost Lynx hits you for a ton. I like that a lot. Not much here. I guess I'll take Act on Impulse, but don't really plan on playing it. Okay, sweet. Got the Coral Barrier back anyway. Cut the wall. And we got everything back. So that's nice. I'll take another Void Snare. And a Peel. And I think we can cut a Void Snare pretty easily. Maybe even the other one too. Statute. So we have 5 cuts to make out of this. I don't think it'll be too tough. Chieftain never got there. Probably cut Crasher. I kind of like the Negate. Marauder, Inferno Fist, Torch Fiend. Probably all deserve a place. Same with Coral Barrier. Frost Lynx and Crust can go. Rummaging Goblin can go. One of the Pathmages can go. I think this is how our deck's going to look. I'm not sure. We might want to... There might be some small changes here. Let's see. I mean, I'm keeping all of the sort of lean and mean stuff here. Pretender's just decent in our deck. It's not even that good. Like, I think the best thing we could probably do is just clone a Juggernaut and just, you know, keep the huge pressure going. But I think that's probably worth it. All right, so let's add some basics. 9/7, you say. Yeah. All right, that's it. So we made a tempo deck. I don't know if it's going to work. I think drawing this is going to help a lot. We got 18 creatures, which is on the high end, but that's where we want to be. We have Reach in this deck with Amphin Pathmage plus Juggernaut and Nimbus of the Isles. We've got some punch. We don't have much removal. We can Void Snare. We can just sort of Void Snare, Frost Lynx, Peel from Reality, just sort of get things out of the way long enough to kill them, but we'll see. Thank you for watching Drafting with Marshall. If you haven't subscribed to Gathering Magic, you can do so to receive news of upcoming videos and discover more content. You can also check out our playlist that contains every episode of Drafting with Marshall. And don't forget, you can easily watch the next video by clicking the annotation on screen or by clicking a direct link in any subsequent videos for this episode in the description box. And as always, thanks for watching.